And that is just what the doctor ordered for the Golden State Warriors today down in San Antonio as they beat down the Spurs by 42 points. The second time this season, they've had multiple 40-point quarters. Happened in the first quarter where they dropped 44. Happened in the third quarter where they dropped 43. And they even up their record on the 6-game road trip at 2-2 before heading out to Memphis, Tennessee to take on the Grizzlies, who are currently in the 5th spot in the Western Conference. We welcome everybody to Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Ezeli. I am Bonte Hill. What a shooting display. The starters come out and score double figures. So let's go back down to San Antonio for a man who dropped a career high and made threes tonight with 7. Brandin Podziemski, welcome to the program. And I'm sure the coaches emphasized getting off to a better start, especially on this road trip after what transpired in the first 3 games. And you guys did that tonight, Brandin, dropping 44 in the first quarter.
Yes, sir. Coach put an emphasis on starting strong yesterday at practice. But he also told us we're 10-0 with this group that we're starting right now. And so, he challenged us to be better. It puts less pressure on that next kind of wave of guys we bring in to, have to fight back for us. But they're more than capable of doing that. Obviously in New Orleans they did that, but 44 points in the first quarter is amazing.
Paz, this is the home stretch right now. You're getting ready for the playoffs. What do you feel like your team needs to work on to get better or to be really ready for the playoffs?
I think just being really, really, really good. The first 4 and the last 4 of each quarter. Not letting teams, feel good going into the next quarter. I think that's just the biggest thing, those 8 minutes, every quarter. That's a big 32 minutes out of the 48. And so if we can, control kind of those minutes, obviously teams are going to go on runs. They're great players, NBA players for a reason. But if we can win the first and last 4 of each quarter, I think we'll be all right.
Potts, congratulations on a great game. You were 7 of 9 from the 3-point line. Coming into tonight, the previous 7 games as a team, you guys were shooting just 32%. Do you feel it's just a matter of time before you guys find your rhythm? Because it seems like you're creating good shots. But tonight you guys made 21 threes led by your 7 makes.
Yeah, I think, shots are going to fall. Shots aren't going to fall. You saw in Miami they didn't. In New Orleans they didn't. But I think it's just sticking with it. It's a long season. Percentages go up and down, but at the end of the year, it's going to even out how you want to go. And I think as a group, when we start off strong with that first group, it gives everybody confidence down the line that they're going to come in and make shots and the ball is going to swing. And when it has energy, a lot of threes go in for us.
All right, BP, before we let you go, I see you left Miami with a little bit of a memento, a souvenir, as I'm looking at you on the screen right now. You want to talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm a guy that stays inside. If you know me, I'm inside playing video games with the guys all the time. And so when this boy gets some sun, it's pretty bad. Obviously, you see it on my face right now. But had a great time in Miami on the boat with teammates. So we had a blast down there. And, thankful we got the win.
Pods, SPF 70.
Yeah, SPF 70.
I don't know what I put on, but I put on so much of it, and I still got cooked, so I don't know what it is.
And Pods, don't trip off of Fezzi. He's just jealous he wasn't in Miami for 5 days.
Man, I'm still jealous.
Pods, we'll see you Tuesday night in Memphis, man. Congratulations on the great night.
Thanks, guys.
Great game.
Anytime. Brandin Podziemski, man. Awesome night for him. 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Really has been playing well since the right abdominal strain. Remember, he missed 5 games due to the back injury. He picked up right where he left off. A solid night as the Warriors drop a season high in points, assists, steals, and fast break points.
Outstanding efficiency. You see the numbers there, 9 of 14, 7 of 9 from 3. But Bonte, and I mentioned to him just now in postgame, I feel like these are very similar shots that he's been getting. And I think as a team, they feel if they get these high-quality looks, they'll be more than capable of knocking them down come playoff time.
I mean, Paz does a great job tonight, setting the tone early. You see him on the 3-point line, but these shots come when you move the ball, when you take care of the ball, and you're getting great quality looks. He's going to be able to hit those shots. Brandin Podziemski has been on the tear since he came back from his injury, just shooting the ball extremely well, and that's really important for the Warriors in that starting lineup that's undefeated so far this season.
And I don't think it's a coincidence with Steph back in the lineup. All of a sudden now you have Jimmy Butler as a threat inside, you got Steph running off screens, and all of a sudden those high-quality shots are back.
Well, this game was really won in the first quarter. So Warriors, we talked about their starts on this road trip thus far. They gave up 40 last Saturday in Atlanta as they shot 65% in that first frame. They were losing by 6 after the first quarter in Miami, and then we know what happened happened in New Orleans, getting behind 14-2. But tonight they came out flying out of the gates, Fezzi Phil. 44 points in that first quarter, a season high for first quarter points. They were moving the ball, they were creating turnovers, and they did their thing in that opening frame.
Yeah, Bonte, creating turnovers was really the story of the first quarter. I think they turned the San Antonio's over about 8 times, and that led to fast break opportunities. When the Warriors are playing fast, they're the most effective. You see this transition buckets, a 3 in transition, an open layup here and there, and they just got to play in open space, and that's where the Warriors are most effective.
Moody, they shot 70.8% in that opening frame, dropped 12 assists,
yeah, big
only
fella.
turned the ball over 3 times.
And what was really impressive about this first quarter was Steph, I think, took 1 shot.
1 shot.
So everyone else used Steph's gravity, stayed aggressive, and when you do that, then you got the opponent's defense messed up.
And look at these eye-popping numbers tonight. The previous 7 games, as you mentioned, Moody, the Warriors shooting just 32% from the three-point line. Tonight, nearly 48% from 3. 57.7% from the floor, and they drop 148, Fezzi. So they play great defense. They play great offense as well.
Well, Bonte, this is not the greatest competition out there in the San Antonio Spurs, but for the Warriors, it is another chance to continue to shore up that offense, trying to work on that defense, really getting ready for this crunch time of the season right now. And so this is a great showing by the Warriors, making sure you don't take a step back when you're playing against lower competition, not playing down to it, but playing up in the game tonight.
Yeah, focus on how you're playing, not who you're playing. You mentioned earlier, Fezzi, too, getting your confidence, because a lot of these shots, that's what's going to be available. We talked pregame about some of the role players that had not been shooting the 3-ball well. When you're an opposing team and you're game planning, number 1, Steph Curry, number 2 is Jimmy Butler. And the problem is that one's outside, one's inside. So those shots are going to be there. It's important they get their confidence moving forward these next 7 games. So come playoff time, I believe all those shots that we saw tonight, they're going to be available come playoff time.
No doubt. That was the 5th 20-point game for Pods this season. But let's pick it up with Moses Moody. Remember down in South Beach, Miami, Moses Moody really struggled going 0-9 for the 3-point line. Hit a bit of a slump. But tonight he got his game rolling early on. 4th 20-point game of the season, the 10th of his career. He was 7 of 11 from the floor. 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. Thought he played well on both ends of the floor tonight, Fezzi.
He is going to be open on those wings. And Moses Moody has been hitting those shots. He hit a little bit of a slump recently, but his cutting, his ability to play off of Steph and Jimmy is going to be really important. That starting lineup with him in the lineup is really very effective when he's hitting these shots right now.
Yes, Moses always understands where to get himself open at the 3-point line, but I love the fact he's attacking the paint as well. So he's got a nice bounce attack to his offense.
No doubt about that. So he's got to play well. All 5 starters scoring double figures for the 2nd time this season. Then you got some great bench production. The only knock on tonight's game is Jonathan Kuminga, who left midway through the second quarter with a right ankle sprain, did not return to the game. Remember, that's the same ankle that forced him to miss 31 games, but the Warriors don't miss a beat. But that is a concern with J.K. moving forward.
Well, that's tough because J.K. just came back from an ankle injury, and after missing 2 months, he was really still starting to get his footing with that second unit. He's been the scoring punch coming off the bench, and they're going to need his athleticism. They're going to need his defensive prowess. Gary Payton II is out. Now J.K. being out, it's going to be a problem and adjustment for the Warriors. But you don't have time to lick your wounds. You got to figure out a way to get guys into the game, and the Warriors did a good job of that tonight.
Yeah, it was an awkward fall. Actually, very similar to the way Steph Curry fell. He thought at first it was his tailbone, and you say it's the same ankle, Bonte. So definitely concern, an awkward fall there. So Jonathan coming off a really good game, having 8 rebounds, getting to the free throw line 8 times. You just hope he's able to get healthy as soon as possible.
No doubt with 8 games left there, so hopefully J.K. is okay. We'll see about his status a little later in the program as the Warriors are getting ready to fly out to Memphis. So let's pick it up with Stephen Curry, who, as you mentioned, Willie, in that first quarter, the Warriors scored 44 points, and it's definitely attempted 1 field goal. The ball was hopping around with 12 assists in that opening frame, but Stephen Curry ends up with a solid night, and more importantly, he's moving well coming off of that pelvic contusion.
Yeah, I think last game he moved really well. We mentioned he was able to find 16 3-point shots, so that shows he's moving off screens, playing inside out, rhythm and flow is there. And tonight, look, San Antonio's always going to be ultra aggressive on Steph Curry, but he used that gravity, get his teammates involved time and time again. So again, I think come playoff time, really important that these role players get comfortable leading the way, especially in the first quarter. That's when you do that, then the defense has to adjust. Steph's always going to be ready and able to put up big numbers. But it's important that the players around him are aggressive to make that defense make an adjustment.
Yeah, a game like tonight's is really important for the role players' confidence. Yes, Steph Curry is a 25-point-a-game scorer. Like, he's always going to be a scorer. But the San Antonio Spurs were really banking on getting the ball out of his hands into the role players' hands. Doesn't matter who it was. Quentin Post, Moses Moody, Brandin Podziemski, all these guys were hitting shots. And when they hit shots like they are, when you make the defense pay, then the ball can come back to Steph and he can react. So for Steve Kerr right now, it's figuring out ways and different lineups and different combinations that work well with Steph.
Heck, even Buddy Hield came off the bench and scored 19 points, and the bench scored 61 overall. We saw Loondog hit a three. His 11th three of
Big
his
Loon!
career. First three of the season. So the Warriors, is there any carryover for a game like this? You mentioned the competition. We all agree back end of a back-to-back. San Antonio's playing for next season. They're in developmental mode. Can you bring this on the road with you to Memphis? Is there any carryover off of a performance like this?
Yes, Bonte. This is like a glorified practice. You're going against NBA players, incredible talent, guys like Stephon Castle, Vassell. These guys are talented players. And at this point of the season, you don't get any practice. One thing they talked about a lot is players reading and reacting off of each other offensively. We talk about Jimmy Butler being able to react to post up in the paint, Steph Curry on the outside. All the other guys working together, they need to figure out how they work well together. Steve Kerr needs to still figure out his different lineups. JK just went out. Now you have to figure out a new rotation. These are things that you can only figure out during the games, and tonight was another game where they got to get some rhythm.
Yeah, I think the challenge and the task at hand, these next 7 games, is to do exactly that, Bonte. Be consistent with your effort. We feel like those shots will be available, right? So the previous 7 games, they shot 32%. Tonight, they had a really good night from the three-point line. The next 7 games, be consistent with that. When those shots are there, take them with confidence, knock them down, because I don't think the defense is going to change drastically, even if they make these threes. To me, the opponent is going to make those players beat them as opposed to Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry.
And the Memphis team that we saw earlier this season pick up Steph Curry 94
Jalen
feet
Wells.
with Jalen Wells. So
old school boxing one.
Old school boxing one, little triangle two, just picking them up, face guarding them. So I expect to see that on Tuesday. But Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, we'll pick up the Draymond Green tape right now, really set the tone offensively for the Golden State Warriors. They combined for 19 first quarter points. Draymond Green finished with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2
That was
assists.
a great catch and finish there.
Yeah, look at that. 204 for the three-point line as well, Fezzi.
Draymond is just not hesitant at all. Like, you see him on the three-point line, you see him, that's a long 2, but when he gets the ball, he is looking at the rim, he's looking to score, and he's making the defense pay. When Draymond's aggressive, I mean, the team offense does better because the defense cannot sag. He just keeps them honest.
A little coast-to-coast action. What I've noticed with Draymond Green's game tonight, balanced attack. 2-4 from 3, made some mid-range jump shots, attacked the paint, had some steals. So a beautiful overall effort by Draymond.
All right, so the Warriors, again, they score a season-high 148 points, season-high 42 assists, season-high 17 steals, and a season-high 34 fast break points.
Yes!
Steve Kerr's not the only one growing a beard.
No doubt, TJD. It's been a while, man.
Someone said he started growing the beard the last time he played.
All-Star break?
It's been a minute, man.
Rising Stars Challenge.
Get my guy on the court.
From Team Bully,
Yes,
that's
TJD.
right. It's good to see TJD and the role players. By the way, another crazy stat. Warriors are now 12-0 when Buddy Hield scores at least 19 points in a game.
Are we coming back with this?
Coming back with everything.
Wow.
Tonight's the night to do it. Because the schedule beats up over the next
All right,
5.
so you got Buddy Hield's 19 points. You got Draymond Green's 2 threes.
2 threes.
I mean, they got a start in the first quarter. They had 44 points.
Kevon Looney 3.
I mean,
first 3 of the season.
Hey, Pod's post game, he said Steve Kerr mentioned this starting lineup tonight's 9-0.
There you go.
Let's go.
11-0 now. 11-0 now. Let's go, Bully. Pods with a career high from 3.
It's all about analytics.
It's all about the numbers. Well, wait till you see this on the other side, folks. I know you got this Sunday night, you want to have dinner with the family, but no, we got something to show you from Minnesota.
Let's go.
Brouhaha between the Pistons and the T-Wolves. You will not want to miss this. They call it March Madness for a reason, right, fellas? Pistons and T-Wolves in Minnesota, and it was all love between J.B. Bickerstaff and Chris Finch before the game. But during the game,
what's happening?
Ron Holland, second-year player out of Duncanville, Texas, played with the G League Ignite. You see Isaiah Stewart getting involved, being Stu, Naz Reid not happy with the foul right there. And this actually started a couple possessions prior to this when Isaiah Stewart and Rudy Gobert had a little tussle, and DiVincenzo as well. You see Dante DiVincenzo, the former Warrior, all up into it. Overall, 5 players ejected, 2 coaches ejected.
Coaches too?
Coaches too. J.B. Bickerstaff and Prigioni, assistant on Minnesota. Pablo Prigioni got ejected, and the T-Wolves go ahead and roll. They're up 15 right now, late in the fourth quarter. They were down all first half. So
wait. All right. So I know what happens when players get into it, right? The players get fined, maybe suspended. But what happens when the coaches get into it? I have never seen that before.
There will be some suspensions from this.
Coaches
no
too?
Doubt. And this may impact the conference standings with Minnesota. DiVincenzo and Naz Reid are very important to that team.
Well, yeah, shout out to, the Minnesota Timberwolves still stacking wins, still finding a way to win that game. But wow, that was incredible.
Want to see another angle?
I thought the guy on the ground had the best angle.
Here you go, right here.
Hey, beef stew. What?
Courtesy of XCC, this. That's Sasser from Houston. His team, the Cougars, are going to the Final Four. I don't know why he's so angry right now. And then Beef Stew, you don't want to mess with him.
I think all 17 coaches are trying to hold back Isaiah Stewart. You serious?
J.B. Bickerstaff starts yelling at Pablo.
Both staffs are wearing black quarter zips, so it's like, who's who?
Who's who?
We just know they're quarter zips, right?
Well, Bonte, what you said, I think, is most important. This could have a huge impact, depending on if there's suspensions handed down. For these teams, that could have a huge impact on the seedings in the playoffs.
No doubt about that. Minnesota's going to hang on to win as we check out the wild Western Conference standings.
Yeah!
And this is assuming Minnesota doesn't choke a 15-point lead in the last 4 minutes of the game. So here's the standings right now. The Warriors 1 game behind the Memphis Grizzlies for the 5th seed. Even Steve Kerr mentioned the Lakers, who the Warriors will see Thursday in L.A. They haven't beat the Lakers all season long. They're 0-3 against them. 2 games behind the Lakers. 3 games behind the Denver Nuggets.
So they played Memphis next.
They do
play the Lakers on this trip.
Yep.
They played Denver.
Yep.
So we have back-to-back biggest games of the year. So put your seatbelt on.
Oh, I like that.
Put your seatbelt on.
I like that. Clippers got the 8th. After losing to the Cavaliers today, you see Minnesota creep in there. So, boy, it's getting wild, Desi.
The Memphis Grizzlies, well, first off, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to have guys suspended. Memphis Grizzlies just fired their coach. No?
I don't know.
They have guys in the okay, fine. Sorry. Maybe coach is suspended. I don't know what they got going on. But Memphis Grizzlies just fired their coach.
Yep.
Up and down the line, the Warriors have a chance right now to gain some ground. And over the next couple of games, this game was a huge confidence builder for the Warriors. But over the next couple of games, they're going to have some chances to really take that standing, whatever it is. They can climb up to 5th if they keep winning games. So it's a great opportunity for the Warriors right now. I'm chomping at the bit right now to see what the next game is going to look like, Moody.
Yeah, I think maintain your focus on the next game. Memphis becomes a huge game. You talked about their coaching change, so that's on them. Take care of your own business. I think Fessa said tonight it was a great effort all across the board. First quarter they put up 44. Steph takes 1 shot, meaning the role players stepped up. That needs to continue to happen. And I think if they do that the rest of the way, they can find themselves at least at 6, maybe higher. And that's what you really want. You want to make sure you're not in the playing situation.
We'll see about Jonathan Kuminga and his ankle for Tuesday against Memphis. And they're also going to be without Gary Payton II, a guy who could defend John Morant full court. So 2 big losses defensively there. But the Warriors with a short rotation should be fine in that one. It's going to be fun to watch that Tuesday night right here in NBC Sports Bay Area as we check out our River Rock Daily Jackpot. And the odds to win the 2024-25 title. The Warriors have the 6th best odds out of Vegas. You see OKC and Cleveland and Boston right there, the top 3 teams. Boston, the defending champions. They beat Dallas last year in 5 games. The Lakers, they're 4th right now, trying to find their way with Luka Doncic and LeBron James. And, of course, Denver, who's been saddled with injuries all season long and a lack of depth. But here's what Draymond Green had to say about Steph. Retiring maybe after winning title number 5. You mentioned the 5th title and maybe Stephen Curry right now into the sunset. And you mentioned this earlier in the pregame show, Molly, that their legacies are cemented. Steph wins a 5th. He's at a table with Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Magic Johnson. That's just icing on the cake, Fezzy Phil.
I just picture it like us winning an Oscar for this show or Emmy. I don't know what you win for a TV talk show. And then Mully deciding he wants to retire. And I would come to your house every day, make sure you get ready for the next year's show.
First of all, those odds would be way lower than what the Warriors have. So calm down with that a little bit.
Never been nominated, Fezzy. We got a long way to go if we want Emmy.
Upset ever.
How many pause buttons we use on this show?
That was good TV.
At least we think so.
I mean, it's just incredible at this point that they're still competing for a championship. Obviously, yes, their records and their their titles,
legacy.
their legacies are cemented right now in history. And it just takes me back to the beginning of this whole journey. You know, under Mark Jackson, they've started this journey saying they want to just make the playoffs, and then leading to wanting to win a championship under Steve Kerr. And then championship after championship after championship. Now we're talking about the fifth one after years. So it's all the work that's been put in through the years, but it's just the consistency through the years and having the coach that's created a foundation, but also incredible players along the way under the leadership of Steph Curry.
You think about it, it's truly amazing because they've created this dynasty 10, 12 years ago, and they're still playing at such a high level, which is amazing in itself. Mm-hmm. But to have the passion, the desire, the discipline, the work ethic in the offseason, as Draymond was talking about. And I always think about boxers, right? On when they show up for that fight, right. It's not the fight. It's the 6 to 7 months of training and the discipline to get to that night. And that's what the offseason is for NBA players, to take care of your body, especially when you're 35, 36, 37. It gets a little tougher every summer.
So y'all don't think we can win an Emmy? That's crazy, man. I can't believe y'all.
I'm just laughing. Have we ever been nominated? I don't think we ever been nominated, man. If Awful Announcing had rankings of pre- and post-game shows, might be in the bottom 10, Fezzy.
Vegas knows something.
They do know a lot there.
Didn't even make the book.
There'd be no juice on our odds, Moody.
A lot of juice. Gallons and gallons of juice.
I can't believe y'all, man. It's crazy.
Man, see these sleep on highlight zone.
Most improved, baby, Fezzy. Maybe most improved.
First team all pregame shows? We be back up for third team, huh?
Honorable mention.
Fezzy doing presser. How would you make third team all postgame shows? What is this crime? Play number 2. Number 1. Look at Pat Spencer. Lou Dog. First 3 of the season.
Been asking for that all year.
11-3 of his career.
You can
Look at
tell.
the bench. Look at GP too.
You can tell the person that the bench, that the team loves by the way the bench reacts. You look at everybody on the bench jumping, reacting. Big Lou.
You can also tell by the way he shot that thing. He works on every pregame. We watch him knock them things down.
We always tell him.
Let it fly, Lou.
Let it fly, Lou. 8 and 7 off the bench tonight for Big Lou in 13 minutes. And you know what? You hit a 3, it's a podium game for you, Lou, dog.
Been about time I got one up. Steve finally drew a play for me, so I had to shoot it. Yeah, he drew it up for me, so he asked me did I want one. I said yeah, so I got one.
How do you feel to see the bench react?
I didn't get to see it yet. I didn't want to look. I want to act like I've been there before, so. But it was fun to get a I mean, I worked hard enough on it all summer, man. I was planning on shooting more this year, but you know how the game goes. But I was finally able to get one up. I made it, so that's all that matters.
What did you like most about this performance? Just 2 ways.
That we had a game plan. We stuck to it. We was able to execute. Start the game off. We started off 1 through 5. It's not our normal defense. We was able to, you know, have a game plan, go out there, execute, and do it for a whole 48 minutes. So, you know, we got to keep building on that. Keep building the momentum. We had a good rhythm out there. We just want to keep building.
Shots going right. You guys have been struggling for deep a little bit, but collectively seeing shots go in like they did tonight, what kind of confidence does that give you?
It just gives us a lot of confidence. We had confidence going into the game. We just, you know, we just missing the shots. We just had to get back on the right path. You know, we was playing the right way. The ball was moving. I think we had pretty much a low turnover game. So at least it felt like it. We only had 12, so that was good. And we was playing the right way. The ball was moving. We set better screens today, and our shooters made shots. And you know, that's going to vary from game to game. But if we play the right way, play with the right intent, I think we'll be in a good spot.
Memphis next, they're right above you guys in the standings, and obviously Lakers, Denver. After that, team's right ahead of you in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
How consequential are games like that against teams where you have a direct opportunity to make up ground in the standings?
Yeah, we know. Every game we've been playing has been important probably for the last, 20 games. So in these last 7, 8, it's going to be just as important. We know the opportunity that we have in front of us. We got to make sure we capitalize. Each game's going to be difficult, definitely playing on the road. And, those teams know it's going to be a big game as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's a chance for us to grow. It's a chance for us to gain some ground, and so it should be a fun games. Yes, go Bruins. Shout out to Coach Corey. I know she's been there a long time, and get that team to the Final Four. I was cheering real hard. I got to see some of them girls work out this summer, so to see their growth and their maturity, it's a lot of fun. So I can't hope they can bring it home.
You hear that, Bully and Fezzi? Act like you've been there before.
That's right.
Big Lou didn't even look back at the bench, just ran back down on the floor. The bench is hyped. We're going to check out our playoff seeding probability. All right, here's the playoff seeding probabilities for the Golden State Warriors. A 30% chance to clinch the 7th seed, 17.5% chance to get that 6th, and a 10% chance to get the 5th. Yeah, I know, Mully, I'm confused too, because they're a game behind the Memphis Grizzlies, and they play them on Tuesday. They play the Lakers on Thursday, Denver on Friday, another game with the Clips, another game with the Rockets. So I think we will know or have a clear picture of where the Warriors may end up over the next 5 games. Let's go ahead and roll out the double box here for our Dove Talk Live crew, the great KB, Kareth Burke, and Petaluma's finest, Dalton Johnson. And probability chances, it just feels good that the Warriors got a good, convincing win tonight, KB.
Yeah, they ran into the Spurs at a very good time, second night of a back-to-back, and never took their foot off the gas. Hey, one thing we're going to talk about on Dubs Talk is three-point shooting, because Dalton, a graduate of NBCU, hey, got his diploma and really good ideas, really good questions, and he turns to me in the newsroom and goes, hey, if you could choose anyone other than Steph to shoot a game-winning three, who would it be? And then that's what we end up talking about, just shooting the breeze in the newsroom. So I think we should get to that on our show.
I want Kevon Grant Looney. Give it to me, Lou. No. I get it, right? It was a feel-good game. But tonight it was so great because really before tonight I'm going, maybe you look at Quentin Post as the guy that you trust the most behind Steph Curry right now, behind the three-point line, maybe even ahead of Buddy Hield or a Brandin Podziemski or a Moses Moody. But that's why getting a feel-good win before this gauntlet, before this game against Memphis, before the game in L.A., it was huge to see the confidence of Moses Moody and Brandin Podziemski shooting from three-point range, combining to go, what were they, 10 of 15 combined? And Moses Moody, his last 6 games, as he's been having such a defensive responsibility, his three-point shot has fallen off. We know Brandin Podziemski's been a little up and down throughout the year, so huge for those young guys. But then, of course, come on, Kevon Grant Looney from three-point range, which is so much fun to see tonight, Kara.
Yeah, Milwaukee Loon. We'll make sure we roll that tape one more time. Dalton asked that question before Pods had his career high in threes tonight. So, Quentin Post, by the way, a rookie leading the team in three-point percentage, even better than Steph. So we've got a lot of options for our hypothetical game-winning three that, for some reason, Steph Curry just can't take.
Who you taking, Fezzi? Who you taking?
I'm taking Andre Iguodala.
With the fate of the universe on the line.
I love that. It's a big fella. 2 big fellas that you mentioned. Both Kevon and Quentin Post? Yeah, for sure. I'll take the big fellas.
That's a good topic because that's exactly what the opposing team defense employs. It's definitely not Steph. And then percentage-wise, it's QP and probably Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield, who was 3 of 6 tonight, and the Warriors 12-0 when he scores at least 19 in a game. And we decided to ice and chill like the San Antonio Spurs tonight. As we look at this tweet by Stat Mamba, Brandin Podziemski, second youngest Warrior player ever to record 7+ made threes in a game. Only the chef, Stephen Curry, was younger. Back in 2010, career high 7 made threes for Brandin Podziemski tonight, 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And right now, he is discussing his night with the media down in San Antonio.
I think we're just conscientious of our start. Coach challenged us yesterday. Practice to, get off to a good start, and it helps that kind of second wave of guys, ease into the game and not feel like they have to fight back for us. But he said he was going to stick with the lineup just because we're 10-0 or now 11-0 with this group that we're starting. So just emphasis on moving the ball, getting easy early shots, and then, playing good defense and just kind of putting the 2 things together.
Regarding putting defense and offense together, forcing a lot of turnovers in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
How did that pace open up offense for you guys?
Yeah, I think defensively, we understand how good of a ball screen player Chris is and how much better Stefan's getting in the ball screen. And so by us switching just 1 through 5, we tried to make them play a little bit more stagnant and have to beat us one-on-one. And I think to start the game, we did a really good job of keeping our man in front. And so that led up to runouts, a couple easy ones for Jimmy early. And so I think, like you said, we put both together.
How good that third quarter feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, shots went in, which is nice. But I think it was, collective effort, we shot 48% tonight after, 2 bad shooting nights in a row in New Orleans and Miami. So it had to come around at some point, and tonight was the night.
All right, Sam Gordon from the San Francisco Chronicle. What up, Sam? Kuminga said he's straight after spraining his right ankle. Asked him if he thinks he'll miss time. JK said, I hope not. As he just returned after missing 31 games, you hope that the young man is okay and he'd be ready to go at least Tuesday or maybe Thursday against the LA Lakers as we take a look at a Toyota drive ahead. It's a monster game Tuesday night in Memphis as the Warriors are just 1 game behind the Memphis Grizzlies, who just fired their coach Taylor Jenkins and their top 2 assistants. They're in disarray right now. The Lakers Thursday would be a great matchup there as the Warriors try to get 1 against the Lakers in the regular season. And in Denver, they've had the Warriors number. They've beat them 9 consecutive times in the regular season. So Memphis, Operation Memphis, Willie, beat them Tuesday night. You tie them, you win the tiebreaker for the regular season record there. So a monster game at the FedEx Forum.
Yeah, I hate to disagree with Steve Kerr, but I think right now this is the biggest game of the year because they could jump past Memphis, get up another spot, which is really important for this team. I think it's really important that they do not participate in the play-in situation, get that week off to rest their bodies, get re-energized and get ready for that first round of playoffs.
Well, looking at the rankings in the Western Conference, the top 2, maybe 3 are pretty solid, but everything else at this point in the season, it depends on what you do here on out. So for the Warriors, it's a good position to be in because you can win out and climb up the rankings, or if you lose games, you have the potential of dropping down. So for the Warriors, you have a chance to really build. And it coincides with you playing your best basketball, which can lead you into the playoffs. So for the Warriors, it's a great position to be in.
And Memphis is a tough home team, right? Jaren Jackson Jr.'s back. We discussed Zach Edey earlier. He's had some smoke with Draymond Green. They've had some nice little back and forth this season. Warriors got blasted out in Memphis earlier this season as well by over 50 points. So it's good matchups here, especially with John Morant. And the Warriors may have to play shorthanded without GP2 and Jonathan Kuminga.
Well, you mentioned Zach Edey. I'm excited to see Quentin Post go against him because now you get to bring Zach Edey out of the paint, and that's a matchup to watch out for. The Warriors reacting to Jonathan Kuminga being out, so guys like Guy Santos and Moses Moody, all these guys playing bigger roles, that's going to be key next game.
Yeah, the 2 focuses for Memphis is obviously John Morant and Triple J. Those 2 guys are the heart soul of that team.
You can't sleep on Desmond Bane. And Santi Aldama's a nice role player for the Memphis Grizzlies, so that should be a fun one on Tuesday. But the Warriors get right against the San Antonio Spurs, and they blow them out by 42. More on this game coming up from Dubs Talk Live with the great KB and Dalton Johnson.